In this video I will be demonstrating this looped bezel for setting a cabochon. I will be setting this carved labradorite cabochon. This stone is 30mm by 20mm with a depth of 5mm. First, I need to know the circumference of the stone. I am using a strip of paper and wrapping around the stone to measure the circumference. This is a 28-inch length of 0.8mm soft round copper wire. Measure 4 inches from one end and make a 90-degree bend in the wire. Measure 4 inches from the other end and make a mark on the wire. I am using the 4th setting on my bail making pliers, which is 5mm in diameter, the same as the depth of the stone. Start at the bend in the wire with a 4-inch area of wire pointing upwards. Coil the wire around the pliers. Stop coiling when you reach the mark in the wire. Bend the straight end of the wire upwards. Gently stretch the coils apart. Try to keep the spacing between the coils even. Stretch the coils out longer than the circumference of the stone. Gently start flattening the coil by pushing the loops down in the same direction. The coil will get shorter during this process. Stretch and flatten the coil until it is the same length as the paper guide. When the coil is the right length, use flat pliers to gently fully flatten the loops. You will notice that one edge appears to be straighter than the other. This will be the bottom edge. Check the fit around the stone. The straight wires at each end will be to make the bail. Bend the wires at the centre of the last loop. Bend the wires up and outwards. Take a length of 0.2 mm copper wire for weaving. Leave about 6 inches of excess wire. Wrap the weaving wire a few times around the base of the bail wires. With the short piece of excess wire, wrap together the loops at the top. Wrap a few times around the loops in front of the bail wires. Wrap a few times around the loops at the back of the bail wires. trim off the excess from the short weaving wire. Place some tape around the lower part of the stone and bezel to hold in position. Slightly bend the bale wires outwards. Starting with the weaving wire coming up between the two wires, wrap twice around one wire, bringing the weaving wire back up between the two wires. Wrap twice around the other wire, bringing the weaving wire back up between the two wires. Continue weaving this figure of 8 pattern while maintaining the gap between the two wires. I have woven for ½ inch or just over 1 centimetre. Bend the wires back towards each other. Where the wires meet, bend them back away from each other. Continue the weaving pattern. I am using this small screwdriver to help me shape the bale. Bend the woven wires at the widest point over the screwdriver and to the back of the pendant. Attach the wires to the bezel on either side of the wires, using the weaving wire to wrap them together. Wrap the two wires together with the same weaving pattern as before. Halfway down the back of the stone, bend the wires 90 degrees towards the sides. Starting on one side, coil the weaving wire around the single wire. When reaching the bezel, bend the wire downwards and wrap the wire and bezel together with the weaving wire. Bend the wire back towards the centre and continue coiling with the weaving wire. At the centre, bend the wire downwards towards the bottom of the bezel. Repeat with the other side. Continue weaving the two wires together. Remove the tape. When the wires are close to the bezel, bend them outwards and upwards. Attach the wires to the bezel. Trim the wires shorter and use round nose pliers to make a loop in the cut ends. Make sure the loops at the front of the bezel are over the side of the stone and that the stone is secure. Thank you for watching. Please join me for my next video.